The most dangerous purchase in your life is probably not the biggest one. It is the one you made when you were tired, the one you made when you felt behind, the one you made when you wanted to feel like your life was still under control. And right now, that purchase may be sitting in your driveway, on your credit card statement, inside your closet, or inside a subscription you forgot you even had. You may think you are spending money, but what you are really doing is buying relief. And relief is one of the most expensive products in America. Nobody tells you this when the app says, pay in 4 easy payments. Nobody tells you this when the dealership asks, what monthly payment are you comfortable with? Nobody tells you this when your phone carrier says, you can upgrade today. And nobody tells you this when everyone around you seems to be living a life that costs more than yours. But the truth is simple. A lot of people are not broke because they love luxury. They are broke because they hate feeling left behind. They hate feeling tired. They hate feeling invisible. They hate feeling like they work this hard and still cannot enjoy anything. So they spend, not because they are stupid, not because they are careless, because spending gives them a few minutes where life feels lighter, a few minutes where they feel normal, a few minutes where they feel successful, a few minutes where they do not have to think about rent, mortgage pressure, car payments, credit cards, medical bills, student loans, or groceries, or the fact that payday already has a job before it even arrives. And that is the trap. The modern financial system does not always attack you through greed. Sometimes it attacks you through exhaustion. It waits until you are emotionally weak. Then it offers you comfort with a payment plan, food delivery after a brutal day, a new phone because your old one makes you feel behind, a car you cannot really afford because you need something in your life to look like progress, a vacation on a credit card because you feel burned out and want proof that your life is not just work, bills, and anxiety. In that moment, it does not feel like a financial decision. It feels like survival. This is why emotional spending is so dangerous. It disguises itself as self-care. It sounds reasonable. I deserve this. I work hard. It's only once. I'll pay it off later. Everybody has payments. I need something to look forward to. Those words feel harmless, but sometimes they become the exact words that keep a person stuck for years. Because the problem is not one dinner. It is not one Target run. It is not one weekend trip. It is not one pair of shoes. The problem is when your emotions become a subscription. Stress comes in. Money goes out. Loneliness comes in. Money goes out. Comparison comes in. Money goes out. Anxiety comes in. Money goes out. And slowly, your bank account becomes a record of every feeling you did not know how to sit with. Look at your last 30 days of spending. Not as numbers, as emotions. How many purchases were made because you were tired? How many because you were bored? How many because you felt embarrassed? How many because you wanted to feel attractive? How many because you wanted to feel successful? How many because someone else had something? And you felt quietly judged without them saying a word. This is where money gets personal, because debt is not always a math problem. Sometimes debt is a diary. It tells the story of what you were trying to escape. The credit card does not just show what you bought. It shows the moments when your nervous system needed relief. And companies understand this better than most people do. They know you are not just buying coffee. You are buying a softer start to a hard day. They know you are not just buying clothes. You are buying the hope that you will feel like a different version of yourself. They know you are not just buying a new car. You are buying status, safety, confidence, and the feeling that your life is moving forward. They know you are not just using buy now, pay later. You are trying to separate the pleasure from the pain. And that separation is what keeps people trapped. Because when payment does not happen at the same time as pleasure, your brain underestimates the cost. 4 payments of $29 does not feel like $116. A $699 phone does not feel like $699 when it is folded into a monthly bill. A $48,000 car does not feel like $48,000 when the conversation becomes about the payment. A credit card balance does not feel real when the minimum payment looks manageable. A subscription does not feel dangerous when it costs less than lunch. This is how the trap stays invisible. The pain is delayed, the pleasure is immediate, and your future self gets the bill. That future self is not imaginary. That future self is you. On a random Tuesday, staring at your checking account, wondering why you make decent money, but still feel poor. That future self is you, avoiding your credit card app because you already know it is bad. That future self is you, feeling irritated when another automatic payment hits. That future self is you, realizing that the thing you bought for comfort has become another source of pressure. This is the cruel part. Many purchases start as relief and end as anxiety. The car that made you feel proud becomes the payment that makes you feel trapped. The apartment that made you feel grown becomes the rent that makes you afraid to lose your job. The vacation that made you feel alive becomes the statement you do not want to open. The lifestyle that made you feel less behind becomes the reason you cannot get ahead. And nobody on social media shows that part. They show the restaurant, not the minimum payment. They show the new car, not the insurance bill. They show the vacation, not the balance transfer. They show the house, not the panic when the water heater breaks. This is why comparison is financially dangerous. You are not comparing your budget to their budget. You are comparing your private stress to their public performance. You are comparing your full life to their edited moment. And that comparison creates pressure. Pressure to upgrade, pressure to participate, pressure to say yes, pressure to look okay, pressure to prove you are not struggling. And America makes that pressure feel normal. A normal adult has a car payment. A normal adult carries credit card debt. A normal adult finances a phone. A normal adult has subscriptions. A normal adult stretches for rent. A normal adult works hard and still feels behind. But here's the question nobody wants to ask. What if normal is the problem? What if the normal American lifestyle is not really a lifestyle at all? What if it is a financial treadmill designed to keep you moving, paying, upgrading, renewing, refinancing, and repeating? What if the reason you feel exhausted is not because you are bad with money, but because your life has too many financial hooks in it? A hook is anything that grabs part of your future income before you get a choice. A car loan is a hook. A credit card minimum is a hook. A buy now, pay later plan is a hook. A subscription is a hook. A rent payment that eats half your income is a hook. A lifestyle built around other people's expectations is a hook. And the more hooks you have, the less free you feel. This is why two people can earn the same income and live completely different lives. One person has margin. The other person has payments. One person has options. The other person has obligations. One person can absorb a bad month. The other person gets pushed into more debt. One person can leave a toxic job. The other person has to stay because the bills are waiting. That is the hidden cost of emotional spending. It does not just take your money, it takes your exits. Every unnecessary payment makes your world smaller. Every financed impulse makes your future tighter. Every purchase made to impress someone adds pressure to keep performing. And eventually, you do not feel like you are living. You feel like you are maintaining the car, maintaining the apartment, maintaining the image, maintaining the payments, maintaining the version of yourself other people expect to see. And somewhere underneath all of that, the real you is tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of checking balances, tired of waiting for payday, tired of making more money and still feeling broke. This is where the deeper truth begins. Most people do not need more financial information. They need financial honesty. They already know credit card interest is bad. They already know car payments are expensive. They already know subscriptions add up. They already know emergency savings matter. The real issue is not knowledge. The real issue is the emotional contract they signed with their lifestyle. The contract says, I will keep spending to avoid feeling inadequate. I will keep upgrading to avoid feeling behind. I will keep saying yes to avoid feeling left out. I will keep buying comfort because I do not know how to rest. I will keep using debt because slowing down feels like failure, and nobody can break that contract for you. Not a budgeting app, not a financial guru, not a higher credit limit, not another balance transfer, not even another raise. Because if your spending is emotionally driven, more income can become more fuel for the same fire. You make more, you upgrade more, you earn more, you justify more, the car gets nicer, the apartment gets bigger, the vacations get better, the lifestyle expands, and somehow, your stress stays the same. That is lifestyle inflation. But it is not just financial. It is psychological. It is the belief that every new level of income requires a new version of your identity. You cannot just earn more. You have to look like you earn more. You cannot just improve your life. You have to display improvement. You cannot just be stable. You have to appear successful. And that is where many people lose the game. They start using income to buy applause instead of freedom. They start using credit to buy identity instead of assets. They start using payments to buy approval instead of peace, and the world rewards them for it. People compliment the car. They do not ask about the loan. People like the vacation photo. They do not ask about the balance. People admire the house. They do not ask whether the owner sleeps at night. This is why financial traps are so hard to escape. The trap often looks like success from the outside. Nobody claps when you keep your old car. Nobody likes a picture of your emergency fund. Nobody praises you for not upgrading your phone. Nobody sees the strength it takes to say, I can afford the payment, but I do not want the obligation. That sentence may be one of the most powerful sentences in personal finance because affordability is not the same as freedom. A lender asks, a wise person asks, will this payment make me more anxious? Will this purchase make me more dependent on my job? Will this upgrade reduce my margin? Will this lifestyle require me to keep performing? Will this decision make my future self resent me? Those questions expose the truth, and most people avoid them. Because the answer is uncomfortable. It is easier to ask because the payment makes the decision feel smaller. But the payment is not the full cost. The full cost is what you cannot do after you agree to it. You cannot save as much. You cannot invest as much. You cannot breathe as easily. You cannot quit as quickly. You cannot handle emergencies as calmly. You cannot say no as freely. That is the real price. Freedom lost quietly, one monthly payment at a time. So what do? Not the generic answer. Not. That advice is too small for this problem. The first step is to identify your emotional spending pattern, not what you buy, why you buy. Do you spend when you feel lonely? Do you spend when you feel bored? Do you spend when you feel disrespected? Do you spend after a stressful workday? Do you spend when you feel like everyone else is ahead? Because the purchase is often just the symptom. The feeling is the source, and until you name the feeling, you will keep treating emotional pain with financial decisions. The second step is to create friction. Delete saved cards, remove shopping apps, turn off one-click checkout. Wait 24 hours before buying anything emotional. Put subscriptions on one card so you can see the total damage. Do not shop when tired. Do not browse when sad. Do not finance when excited. Do not upgrade when insecure, because your worst financial decisions often happen when your emotions are loud and your future is silent. The third step is to reduce hooks. Cancel what you forgot. Downgrade what you barely value. Sell what owns you. Attack one debt. Remove one automatic payment. Cut one obligation that no longer gives you real value. Because every hook you remove gives you a piece of yourself back. One less payment, one less withdrawal, one less claim on your paycheck, one less reason to feel trapped. And the fourth step is the hardest. You have to become comfortable being misunderstood. Some people will not understand why you are not upgrading. They will not understand why you skipped the trip. They will not understand why you moved somewhere cheaper. They will not understand why you are not trying to look richer. But peace often looks unimpressive from the outside. Freedom often looks boring before it becomes powerful, and discipline often feels lonely before it becomes visible. You are not trying to win approval from people who do not pay your bills. You are trying to build a life where payday feels like opportunity, not rescue. You are trying to build a life where your future self does not keep paying for your past pain. That is what this is really about. Not shame, not guilt, not becoming cheap. Not hating nice things. It is about refusing to let your anxiety become someone else. Trust Thames revenue. Because companies profit when you confuse relief with freedom. They profit when you confuse payments with affordability. They profit when you confuse access with wealth. They profit when you are too tired to think. They profit when you feel behind. But the moment you see the trap, it loses some of its power. The next time you want to buy something because you feel bad, pause. Not forever. Just long enough to ask, am I buying this because I value it or because I want to stop feeling something? That question can save you years, because sometimes the most financially powerful thing you can do is not earn more. It is not invest perfectly. It is not follow a complicated plan. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is sit with discomfort without turning it into debt, to feel tired without ordering relief, to feel behind without upgrading your image, to feel stressed without giving your credit card a new balance, to feel insecure without buying a new identity. That is where control begins, not in the spreadsheet, in the pause before the swipe, the pause before the upgrade, the pause before the loan, the pause before the monthly payment, the pause where your future self finally gets a voice. And when that voice gets stronger, your life starts to change. You start wanting fewer things that control you. You start noticing how much of your spending was not joy, but pressure. You start choosing margin. You start choosing breathing room. You start choosing peace over performance. And one day, something strange happens. The thing you used to fear starts to feel powerful, saying no. No to the car you could technically afford. No to the trip that would follow you home. No to the subscription you do not need. No to the lifestyle that keeps you anxious. No to the fake version of success that requires monthly payments to maintain. That no becomes a door. And behind that door is a life most people secretly want. A life where your paycheck is not already gone. A life where emergencies hurt, but do not destroy you. A life where you can leave situations that are bad for you. A life where your money reflects your values, not your wounds. A life where you do not need to buy proof that you are doing okay, because you actually are. So here is the warning. If you keep using money to escape feelings, your feelings will start owning your money. If you keep financing your anxiety will charge interest. If you keep buying a life that only looks good from the outside, you may wake up years from now, surrounded by things that never made you free. But here is the hope. You can stop. Not perfectly, not instantly, but today, you can stop one leak. You can cancel one payment. You can question one impulse. You can delay one purchase. You can look at one balance you have been avoiding. That is how the cage opens, not with a dramatic transformation, but with one honest decision after another. And if this felt uncomfortable, that is probably because some part of it was yours. Do not ignore that feeling. That feeling might be the first sign that you are ready to stop paying for a life that does not give you peace. Because the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to be unowned. And every time you choose your future over your impulse, you become a little harder to control. That is where real financial freedom begins. Not when everyone notices, but when you finally stop needing them to